Hey, what's going on, everybody? FullFrontage here. Today bringing you guys another Beach Frontlines video. You guys have really been enjoying the Beach Frontlines videos on the channel, so I'm very happy about that. I've been enjoying making them. We have a ton more gameplay to cover. Today's there's just going to be some gameplay going on in the background. The next couple videos we'll have some more objective-based things to do in the videos, and then we will have the other playtest that's going to be coming this weekend. Now, they haven't announced at the time I'm recording this video if there are going to be more additional slots in the next alpha test, so make sure you join up the Discord. I'll leave that link in the description below, and make sure you sign up to see if you get selected as an alpha tester if they end up adding in more spots. So I'm just going to be kind of talking about my initial thoughts after playing the game for a weekend. I didn't get to play as much as I wanted to, but I did get to play a pretty decent amount. So I have some notes that I wrote down on my phone that I'm going to be referring to, and this is just going to be some general feedback that I personally felt. I haven't really read too much about what other people have thought, so if you have any thoughts of yourself, feel free to leave them in the description. If you are a beta tester or an alpha tester, feel free to tweet it at me, feel free to message me on Discord, just kind of your thoughts to kind of see what the community is understanding. And then if you don't have alpha access, let me know what you think about from watching other people's perspectives in videos on the alpha gameplay. So let's get into it. So I will say, for an alpha, this was probably one of the most polished alphas in terms of UI, user interface, and how the game just kind of felt playing it. It felt really good, especially as an alpha. I played some alphas that were pretty choppy. It wasn't like the most polished thing, but it felt very polished for an alpha, which is very promising, because that means maybe in beta, or hopefully if the game goes global, it's going to be even better. So that's just like that's already a plus for me, that the fact that it was pretty polished for an alpha in terms of how the game felt. In terms of the gameplay experience itself, there are definitely a lot of balance changes that need to be made. A few of the most notable ones are the sniper, the boom cannon, and the scorcher. These were top 3 in my opinion based on playing them. I vaguely saw a couple people comment on this in the testers Discord, so it's pretty well known that I didn't expect the balances to be perfect. I didn't expect the gameplay to be absolutely perfect in terms of the most balanced thing, but snipers, scorchers, and boom cannon was definitely really strong. And I think part that comes in with that is also the strategy that goes into it. And this is going to be kind of getting into the feedback things I want to see added in. I feel like if there was maybe better strategy and coordination between teams, maybe those things aren't as powerful. A couple of the things that could be done is having the shield, like if you know there's a scorcher or if you know there's a boom cannon, coordinate who gets a shield. Typically you want to put that against a Zuka, and then you want to have a couple heavies tanking for the Zuka so they're able to take down the boom cannon. And then you have other defenses you have to worry about. Maybe you have a medic or two, depending on how many heavies you have, healing up those heavies to try to keep them alive for as long as possible while the Zuka really dishes out some damage. So part of it does go along with the strategy. Maybe if there was a bit more strategy and a little bit better ways to communicate, then maybe those things aren't as powerful, and maybe that's something we see later on. But this is just what I experienced as an alpha tester. So those 3 definitely felt really strong. And then going into the suggestions, I would absolutely love to see it, probably not for this upcoming weekend with the alpha, but I would love to see some sort of communication system implemented in game. I know voice chat in game tends to lean a bit more towards the toxic side, unfortunately, because it would make the game a lot more enjoyable. But maybe there's an implementation where pings can be implemented into the game like we see in MOBAs. Especially for mobile MOBAs, you can ping where enemies are, you can ping where things are. You can't do it in like Brawl Stars, for example, but other mobile MOBAs you can. You can ping to watch out, you can ping to on my way, you can ping to various different things that could be applicable to Beach Frontlines. So, I mean, definitely an on my way, a watch out is definitely really good. I love the fact that you can see the indicators, but you can't see who's coming, obviously, because that would be unfair. So the indicators are a really good way to kind of see how many enemies are coming towards you, how many, if there's a vehicle coming towards you, you can see that. It shows up on the indicator as well. So that is really good to have. But I think the communication in terms of in-game could be better overall, and that could honestly help kind of mediate some of the balance issues, because like I said, if you have a couple heavies going with the Zuka, the boom cannon's not going to target the Zuka and completely obliterate it right away. It will be able to kind of, you know, the heavy will be able to tank and the Zuka will be able to dish out damage to the boom cannon, because if you've ever played Boom Beach, you wouldn't just send a boat of Zukas straight toward a boom cannon. You would send the heavies first, and then you would put the Zukas behind, and then you would flare to the boom cannon, and just things like that. So there's different things that could be implemented into the game that might alleviate some of the this thing is overpowered or this thing is broken kind of thing. So it'll be interesting to see how, like, as the game is out longer and as people are able to communicate more, that these strategies change, and maybe these troops and vehicles aren't necessarily that overpowered, and it could just be that, like, it could just be that the game is really well balanced, and the fact that we can't communicate in game makes it seem like it's overpowered, because it's going to be one or two people trying to take down a boom cannon, trying to take down a scorcher, and it seems like, wow, this is just ridiculous, I can't bust through this thing. And same thing with snipers. If you have snipers fighting each other, whoever gets the first shot off wins. But if there's like a heavy coming in and they go in first, then it's a little bit of a different story. If you're able to get behind a barrier before the other sniper is able to take you down, you're going to take less damage and things like that. So it could just be that these troops and vehicles aren't overpowered or aren't well balanced. They could be very well balanced, and it's just the fact that there's minimal teamwork as of right now, because it's a brand new game. Not everybody's going to be perfect at it. Not everybody's going to know all the strategies right away. But maybe as it develops, these things are just, it's easy to counter them, and it's easy to set up a defense. So those are a couple suggestions that I have. It seems like they're really overpowered, but it could be the lack of communication. So maybe once there's a communication implementation into the game, it could be a lot better. All right, sorry about that. But yeah, so like I was saying, those are just a couple things that I would like to see in the game, and then a couple other things that I wrote were, I would love to see task force and clans. Obviously, it's not going to be for alpha, but maybe they already talked about this. Maybe they talked about having task force and clans they're able to queue up with, and maybe you can do in-game text chat with a party you queue up with. So if you queue up into a match with people from your task force, you're able to communicate via text. That would be something that also helps alleviate, where it's like, hey, they have a scorcher over here. Let's send 2 heavies and 2 Zukas and a medic, and be able to take this down. And the other people go to point A and defend. Kind of a lot to text out, but maybe there's like shortcuts you can type in, like go to point A, or I need a medic, or I need a heavy, and you can like ping with certain unit names. Maybe they have like default text that you can use. Just anything to improve communication. Doesn't even necessarily have to be a voice, just something to improve communication. The next thing is, I would love to see if there are different style game modes because right now it's 9v9. I would really like to see if there was like a 5v5 game mode or a 4v4 game mode, and have it be like a hard point type, right? So you have one team, there's one point. That team has X amount of time. They have 30 seconds to go to point A, to the point, set up a defense, depending on, they have a certain amount of energy, so they can select certain defenses to work with as a team. So it's like you have team energy instead of individual energy. And then, so you set it up so you get like, maybe you save energy, maybe there's a tank there. You save energy so you can get into a tank, and then maybe you set up a sniper tower and a flamethrower, and that's your defense. And then you have to defend with the units, and then the other team gets to come in, they get to attack, and that's it. Like that's the game mode, and then you have to take over the hard point. I'm just calling it hard point because that's what I can think of. But it's almost like the game mode in Overwatch where you like have to go through the points. And then when you have a certain amount of time remaining, that gets carried into your that gets counted to your score. And then when your score gets calculated by the end of the game, you If the other team is able to complete it, then you have that amount of time to take out this much health of the headquarters and be able to, so something like that, I would absolutely love to see that. And then possibly like a moving point, so like that's the actual hard point. So that's the one I wanted to say. The hard point is the one that like moves around the island, so like maybe there's like 5 different points around the island, right? There's like 2 corners and then the middle, and then you have to fight for control, and as you stay in the point, you gain points. If the enemy comes in, the game pauses, so kind of like Hot Zone in Brawl Stars, but when both teams are in the zone, both teams get points in Brawl Stars, but maybe it's like it pauses or something and there's like a certain amount of time, or once you hit 75 points, your team wins the game, something like that. And then I think with that coming in, like the 5v5 and 4v4, maybe comes like a ranked ladder. A lot of people love to push up leaderboards in a game, especially mobile games like this, like Supercell games. This isn't a Supercell game, by the way, but even other Space Ape games that have like a base builder aspect to it, there are leaderboards. Most mobile games that have a competitive feel to them have leaderboards. So I'd love to see a ranked game mode introduced if there were to be 5v5 or 4v4 type game modes. 9v9 might be really hard to coordinate as a team, and it might feel kind of lackluster to be classified as a competitive game mode. But I think this game has a lot of potential to, just in terms of like how the game plays and how the game feels, to really just be something special in it. I don't want to say esports yet, because like the game is just brand new, it's in alpha, we don't even know if it's going to go global. I really hope it goes global, but just from like a competitive mobile gamer perspective, most competitive mobile games or mobile games like this have a leaderboard that players can push up and try to say they're the best player in the world. And I think that's something that would be really cool to see implemented into the game. So just to kind of sum this all up in a nice package, I think the balances seemed pretty off, but then again, that could coincide with the lack of communication in-game. Maybe if there was text in-game shortcuts that you could do, like I need help, or I need a medic, or I need a heavy, because I think with the heavy, like going to tank for a boom cannon, it could allow the Zuka to take down that boom cannon pretty quickly, or take it down in a couple pushes. And then for the sniper and flamethrower, again, if there was a medic there, if a sniper's trying to take down a heavy, sniper's going to get a lot of damage, heavy not so much. If the sniper's behind a wall, then the heavy really isn't going to get a lot of damage onto the sniper. So just a bunch of different things that could be implemented to maybe help and make it seem like these defenses, troops, vehicles aren't overpowered. And maybe the game is really well balanced and we just don't know it because we can't strategize properly. But again, this is an alpha, so this is just something to get people to test, give feedback, and just kind of let Space Ape know that like the game is amazing. It's really well polished for an alpha. It's really well put together for an alpha, and that all the suggestions are coming from a place of love, especially from me. Like, this game this game has huge potential. Absolutely no doubt about it. This game has huge potential. So I want to give the most proper feedback that I can, and I want to help Space Ape collect the feedback from the community, from you guys, so you guys, because the Discord is a good place for people to go and leave feedback and connect with the developers, but then the content creators who put the content in front of the community so they can see the gameplay and just go down, scroll a little bit, and leave a comment right there as soon as they're watching something and think of something. It's right there. It's very accessible. So anything I can do to give feedback to Space Ape and help them gather feedback is definitely what I want to do, because this game has loads of potential. But let me know what you all think of Beach Frontlines down in the comment section below. Did you get to play it? And if you did, what feedback do you have? Let me know in the comments. Let Space Ape know in the Discord. And that is going to be it. We're going to have more Beach Frontlines videos coming on the channel as much as we can. I have hours of gameplay recorded from this past weekend, and then I'm going to try to record a ton more gameplay this weekend. It's gonna be rough, but we'll get through it. Hopefully we'll have time and we will just record a ton. I want to get like a good 8 hours of footage from Boom Beach Frontlines this next weekend, just so I have constant footage for you all on the channel. So you guys have really been enjoying it, so I definitely want to keep pumping out the content, and I'm having a blast playing the game. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe for more content, and if you want to check out more content, the videos over there will be clickable, so make sure you check that out. Thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great night, everybody. Peace out.